what next for Rahul Gandhi? Even as we wait for that 4 p.m. presser, usually Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Jairam Ramesh talking us through the strategy that the Congress party is going to undertake. What kind of legal options, what kind of political options does Rahul Gandhi have at his disposal now? You've, quite eloquently put forth the problems Rahul Gandhi is going through. I'm of the opinion, considering from what you said, resonating from that particular point, he needs to be, moving around with the battery of cameramen, recording everything that he's doing, and of course, for political optics.
No, it's not about political optics. It's just about also the perception that's been wrongly attributed or attacked on him. But to your larger answer, what is his legal and political options? Legal option is he has to move the Honorable Gujarat High Court, which he will. Political options is this fight, political fight has to go to the streets, and you'll have to raise this issue with the citizens of India, who I think there is empathy and sympathy for Rahulji. But let me quickly react to what the professor was saying. Look, Rahul Gandhi, as per the professor, may be arrogant, maybe indulging in tricks, maybe indulging in trying to get attention. None of this is reason for conviction. The conviction is simply based on a statement made in Karnataka in a political rally. This does not deserve conviction. This conviction, for the maximum conviction, has happened only second time since this law has been enacted, which is terrible, and it's the first time since independence. Third, all procedures which the opposition lawyer, opposition to Rahulji, was speaking about, in my opinion, there are several Supreme Court judgments that say all procedures of the Honorable, adapted by the Honorable Sessions Court, have been violated as guidelines put by the Honorable Supreme Court. So I am of the firm opinion Rahulji will get relief. In my opinion, in the Honorable Supreme Court, he will get relief. But I think it's a larger question that in political discourse, when you make attacks on each other, which are political attacks, if people are going to be convicted for that, then democracy won't remain in this country. Now, let's just look at the ramifications. Politicians have been making hate speech, particularly Bharatiya Janata Party politicians. The most honorable Prime Minister, I complained against him, made a speech saying, Dangayon ko kapdon se pehchana jata hai. Shamshan Kabristan. They continue to be in political life. And somebody who's made a legitimate speech about corruption is being attributed to a community when Lalit Modi ji and Nirav Modi ji are not part of the OBC community. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. If the Honorable Prime Minister was hurt by that speech, he has a right to a defamation case, not somebody staying in Gujarat, Mr. Modi, who's an ex-BJP MLA. This is terrible. It's terrible how defamation law was used, in my opinion. And it's not right. It's not right for democracy. But that's the way it is. Hate speeches. Tell me who's convicted for hate speech so far? And in the hate speech, the Supreme Court, in my judgment, Tehseen Poonawalla versus Union of India, has laid down guidelines on hate speech. Nothing is happening there. Hate speech after hate speech. Pragya Thakur ji made a hate speech in Karnataka. What happened? Nothing. I was speaking to the SP, saying this is a hate speech, saying, and this is true. They gave the guidelines in my case by the Supreme Court. And the SP tells me on phone, sir, we all understand that, but I will not file an FIR against Pragya Thakur ji. I don't accept your digital signature. I have to send Congress people to physically file an FIR because he wasn't ready to accept my digital signature. He wanted my digital signature in physical. This is the SP in Karnataka. That's how it is. So that's not right. It's not a level playing field. Rahulji does, for all his mistakes, does not deserve to be suspended. This is wrong. He doesn't deserve to be convicted. You can fault him, but this is not the way.
Well, the semantics and the foundation of the case, Tehseen, is something that has been debated. People are already talking about how, we're doing away with various colonial era laws. Why not defamation? In the other countries, you have a civil suit. Here, it's a proper criminal case. Do you think this particular point is going to be part of Congress's arsenal when they're fighting this particular case now and moving the Gujarat High Court as well?
To a larger debate, yes. Should democracy even have a criminal defamation? Yes, it will play it could be a defense. And yes, I mean, if Mr. Modi was, Pranesh Modi, the complainant was defamed, he had to show grounds on how he was defamed. How did it affect him personally? He's not made those grounds. It seems more like an attack on Rahulji. See, in political speeches, we've heard political speeches, Gali Gali mein shor hai, Rajiv Gandhi chor. When I was a kid, you didn't go about putting people in defamation cases. Look at the attacks on Rajiv ji during Bofors. Ultimately, all 4 courts gave him a clean sheet for international courts. He didn't file defamation cases. Look at the 2G case. Look at other cases. So political attacks on opponents will happen. You will say they are corrupt, they are this. And if an opponent is affected, like when Arun Jaitley ji was affected by Arvind Kejriwal ji or others, they moved court. They have a legitimate right to move court. You can't have anyone and everyone moving court. Tomorrow, for example, if I were to say, look, there is corruption in media, it doesn't give you, Kabir, with respect to you, the right to move court and put me in defamation in a criminal defamation. So this is very, very wrong. This precedent is very wrong. And you're convicting people for maximum term. If Rahulji would have been convicted for 1 year and 29 days, his MPship would not have been lost. You think the people of this great country don't understand the politics behind it, that an ex-BJP MP is moved for, MLA is moved for? He's pressurizing Rahulji. Is not a member of Gujarat. The speech is not a resident of Gujarat. The speech was made in Karnataka. Where does this leave our country in democracy? How vulnerable are politicians? And one day, the shoe will change. Then what will happen? This is not how political battles should be fought. It's wrong for democracy.
Well, you know what they say, things always make sense in retrospect. Maybe, Captain, retrospect in a couple of years from now, we'll be looking back at this particular case and what it has done to criminal defamation and how defamation is being looked at. But, you know, even as we began this discussion, Tehseen, we'd already surpassed the fact that the decision, I'm not going to use the word overturned, is going to be different when the higher courts are approached. And hence we, you know, overlooked that particular facet and spoke about what next, because it is a crucial year. So many crucial assembly elections and in the run-up to the 2024 elections as well. Before you go, a final brief word. Rahul Gandhi, 2024 optics, what's the road ahead like? It already seems like he's taking one step forward and 3 steps back.
No, he's not. But I always tell him and Congress, think like the BJP if you defeat the BJP. You see, on Sunday, Rahulji was supposed to speak in Kolar, where he made the first Modi speech which got him convicted and start the Karnataka campaign. What happened that day? Miraculously, on a Sunday, the CBI summoned Arvind Kejriwal. It's another matter. Saturday night, Atik was killed, and then that became the headline. But look at the management. On Sunday, when Rahulji was going to speak in Karnataka, and all of you media would have been there, it would be his first political speech in Kolar after the conviction. Arvind Kejriwal was summoned, a sitting chief minister, on Sunday by the CBI. Like CBI didn't have any other day to summon it, because the idea was the media focus would get diverted. Of course, CBI will reject it, but हम तो जानते हैं जन्नत की हकीकत दिल को खुश रखने के लिए गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है. So you know how it works. So look at how the BJP plans. It thinks 3 steps ahead. The Congress needs to not be reactive. My advice to them is be aggressive, be assertive, but be assertive in a Nehruvian way. Be assertive with logic, be assertive with articulation, be assertive with solutions. Right now, Rahulji does not realize the amount of empathy and sympathy people have for him at this moment. And he's riding a certain high after Bharat Jodo. He must politically use that to reach out to the people of this great nation. The people of this great country deserve a very good opposition. And I think the Congress is duty bound to provide that for. That's my advice to them.